One of the things that corporations historically for a long time have done is, when people have disabilities and challenges, they kind of have went to the bottom of the hiring pool. And what neurodiversity in the workplace is all about is learning that there are actually benefits to having, disability inclusion, not just for the PR, not just to say, oh, we provide, work opportunity. Because I think most people think of, a company offering opportunities to people that are disabled. They might think of someone who has very low sociability or low on the verbal scale, and they're working at a fast food restaurant or something like that. But you don't think about the kind of benefit that an autistic savant with perfect pitch might add to your music studio, or a person who has total recall and loves diving into research, and they have absolutely no problem with sitting in a cubicle for 16 hours and learning every single paragraph of the legal document that you have prepared. There are tons of advantages and upsides to being able to hire neurodiverse people. And if your company deals with the public, then that means that you get to have an internal perspective on how you're marketing your message and other things that go to your targeted customer avatars are going to hit a person with a disability. You get the benefit of that perspective too. In 2021, the CDC said that 1 in 44 adults is going to be diagnosed with autism, and nearly half of those get diagnosed with ADHD. And people who have ASD, and it depends on where they are on the verbal scale. And just one of the things I like to clear up is that just because a person is nonverbal doesn't necessarily mean that they have intellectual impairments. Being nonverbal can be a result of sensory overprocessing. For example, when you talk and you hear your own voice, have you ever heard your own voice on like a half-second delay on a bad phone call?
Yeah.
Makes it almost impossible to talk, right?
Yeah.
So, if you have a sensory processing issue and you hear your own voice when you're trying to talk, sometimes you don't get past the first vowel. Sometimes you'll think of autistic people and they're making sound like that might be the first vowel of something they're trying to express, and they get caught on it. And what research has shown is that when you sit these same people down in front of a speech translator, they can blow your mind. We had a speaker at one of the neurodiversity events I went to, and if you were to just watch him on camera, and you didn't have a conception of what was going on with that disability, you would have thought that he was a completely non-functional member of society, twisted up in a wheelchair, unable to even look at the webcam. And yet, when he took the time to type out his thoughts, he was the most educated person in the room. And he was saying things that were blowing the speaker's minds. And that person could work for your company. One of the things that we learned from 2020 is that a lot of the jobs that we assumed could only be done from the office place can be done from home. And companies like Amazon and others have capitalized on the fact that they've learned that, and they've kept some of their employees at home. Not only does it increase their work satisfaction and their productivity, but it also means that they have to have less financial investment in the auspices of their business or the physical location. And now they're capitalizing on that. That opens up an entire avenue of neurodiversity for hiring. But in order to capitalize on that, you have to understand the different kinds of strengths that different people with disabilities can bring, and you have to have a hiring program and a company culture that's permissive of that.